Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Oh, wow. I'm one of you, Tom, just, I don't know if you just sent me, but I just saw, excuse me, how much by the way, hello and good morning to you. You caught me in sort of, in mid astonishment. I'm looking at the New York Times recently did a piece on subsidies that states give to corporations. You know how states fall all over themselves begging corporations to come to their states and put up a factory or something. And if you do, we'll give you $100 million gazillion dollars. We'll build you roads and everything else you could possibly want. We will give you our firstborn sons in perpetuity. Just please come here. And I remember a million years ago saying, there's something repulsive about this, because even if you didn't want to play the game, all it takes is a few states to play the game, which is essentially, it's a game of blackmail. It's a game of blackmail. You see sports teams do this too. Well, so-and-so is going to build us a new stadium and give us blah, 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 blah. And if you don't then give us a new stadium, we're leaving town. You see this all the time. And so it's just this institutional blackmail that we all agree is part of the way government works, and this is reality. I find the subject so disgusting that I can't, no such games, excuse me, for the little people. Of course not. So them that's got always get more, and them that don't get butkus. It's always the same. It's the way the game is played. It's the way the rules get made, because the people who make the rules are beholden to the people who's got, and they want more, and they get more. That's just, okay, that's reality, so stop bitching about it, Colin. And Tom, thank you, Tom, just sent me this breakout per state of what states give what, and what they give and to whom they give. Pennsylvania spends at least, get this, it's almost $5 billion per year. Good God. $4.84 billion per year on what are nicely called incentive programs. It's part of this extortion racket that we call doing business. So roughly per capita, they break it down. That means that's $381 that each of us in the state give to private companies. Every 18 cents of every dollar of the state budget is simply a pass-through to some corporation. 1/5 of the state budget. 18 cents on every dollar. Okay, what else do they tell us? Geez, I wish I didn't know this. Hey, Tom, Monday morning after a Steeler humiliation is bad enough, let alone rainy, dreary, all this kind of stuff, and you send me this? Okay, do you want to know what the top incentives are? By type of incentive? Here we go. Pennsylvania gives out $3.5 billion in sales tax refunds, exemptions, or other sales tax discounts. So while you, of course, you pay the full freight every time you buy anything, these big muckety-muck companies that are worth gazillions of dollars, they come here, they don't have to pay. They get breaks. It's like, the rich. When you're really rich and you're really powerful, people buy things for you because they want to curry favor. It's well known that a lot of rich people don't even carry money with them because they don't have to ever buy anything for themselves. And this is sort of how it works in governance. Let's see, we give $1.39 billion a year. This is Pennsylvania, just one state, in corporate income tax credits, rebates, or reductions. And, we give out just $25 million in pure cash grants or loan guarantees. Who's getting all this largesse from you and me? Well, the vast majority of it goes to industry, to manufacturing. And $174 million goes to agriculture, and $122 million goes to oil, gas, and mining. I'm surprised they aren't at the top. We've got a caller. No, we don't. Okay. And then this breaks down per type. One of the things Tom flagged for me is he said he was really fascinated to see how much, all those films that come here that we ooh and ah. Oh, we're so popular. Everybody wants to shoot their films here in Pittsburgh because we have such a beautiful city and because the people are so friendly and because we have so much, we have a great labor market for them and we're like Hollywood East and all that kind of stuff. Well, here's a big reason. Let's see. We gave $49 million to Paramount Pictures in a film tax credit. And that came because Philadelphia County and Allegheny County. I don't know which film exactly that is. Oh, dear God. Dear God in heaven. $1.65 billion to Royal Dutch Shell. That was a corporate income tax credit. These are not, by the way, these might be multi-year things. But you roll down this. Pfizer Chemical, we gave $8.06 mil in corporate income tax credits. Biofarm Incorporated, cash grant of $7.5 million. One for the Money Productions for a film tax credit of $7.7 million. That was for some movie made here in Allegheny County. I don't know. Now, I understand that if we don't do this, none of those movies come here. I understand that, but it's just like this sort of legalized larceny. Go ahead. Hi, caller.
Hello, Lynn. It's Michael from Palm Springs.
Hi, Michael.
What is going on with all of this? They built it themselves?
Oh, yeah, I remember that little line.
At any time, any municipality that wants a Walmart must build sewage for that place.
And more than that, they do all kinds of infrastructure.
More than that. Right. And, you started the show with this, and all I could think of was when I was living in Pittsburgh, one of the most egregious violations of tax liability and just citizenship was the Lord and Taylor debacle.
Oh, my God.
Do you remember that? They got to X number of years of tax credits. They didn't have to pay tax. And as soon as they had to start paying taxes, they pulled them out.
I think they pulled out even before that.
Maybe it was, but
No,
that,
it was before that.
I saw that coming. I smelt that coming. When they were refabbing the building, I could walk by and just smell greed.
Yep. If you add up all the million that I'm seeing pass before my eyes for these film companies, it's amazing. Here's another. Lionsgate got $7 million for a movie they were making here in Allegheny County, and Pottersville Pictures, who knows what that is, another $7 million for something.
That's Chris's thing.
That's who?
Chris Potter's thing, Pottersville.
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think he does that on the side.
I don't think so either. But
oh my God.
yeah, and it's unbelievable because I was working in the film industry in Pittsburgh during the time when the town was non-union.
Yeah.
And when we had that big meeting to elect whether or not we allowed the unions to come in, I was one of 2 or 3 people who said, look, we're being paid union wages, we're being treated fairly, under union rules. Let's not actually call in the unions yet. If we start to be abused, then we can call on them. And from that moment on, I never even got the courtesy of an interview. The only thing I would get would be a phone call every now and then to say, hey, somebody's sick, can you come in and run the boom for us today?
Well,
and the other 2, or other person, they also were in the same boat.
well, I blah, blah, blah. U.S.
And I like
Airways.
unions. I'm pro-union. I mean, I'm a member of the WGA, but...
Wait, just a second here. Here, look, I'm looking at U.S. Airways, which screwed Pittsburgh big time. U.S. Airways got a $4 million cash grant at loan guarantee, job creation tax credit. Job creation tax credit? I happen to personally know about 7 people who lost their jobs with U.S. Airways. And that's Allegheny County, $4 million.
Yeah, they get a tax credit, but do the employees the jobs that they've created, did they get a tax credit?
No, of course not.
No.
It's so despicable. And I'm looking at the map of the United States. Pennsylvania is one of the most generous states. It gives more than most other states.
I was surprised. You started reading that list, and the numbers did seem extremely high.
Well,
I mean, which is the highest state? Is it Pennsylvania or?
Well, I think it's Texas. They give out over $19 billion a year. And just
how many people that could feed?
Yeah,
how many homes could be built?
And then contrast that with Texas at $19 billion in these tax credits to corporations. California only gets $4 billion. So I mean that shows you something. And
I need to look at this. This is very interesting stuff you're bringing up.
We give more than California. Pennsylvania does.
Yeah.
And we give
more, might have 15 million more.
And we give more than New York State. And more than
what
Massachusetts.
About Jersey?
We're way up there. We are way up. I'm just New Jersey doesn't even give $760 million. We're almost $5 billion.
Wow. Okay, I'm depressed now. Okay.
That's my
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. My job is done.
By the way, if you're interested, I would gladly mail you a loaf of organic banana bread with bananas that I've grown, if you would be interested.
Jess, are we interested in? Sure we are. Do it.
All right, the bananas I grew myself, the ginger I grew myself, so I will send one out to you.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Bye.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. Wow. No, this is Jess, can we put this on my Facebook page, this damn map?
Yeah, where is it?
Where is it? I don't know. It's right here in front of me. It's got one of those real long sites. How about if I forward to you the thing that? So this will be on my on the Lynn Cullen Facebook page, which is just Lynn Cullen.
Facebook.com/Lynn Cullen Live.
Facebook.com/Lynn Cullen Live. Okay. No, if you do this interactive map, it'll make you sick. Make you sick. We're way up there. I can't quite tell, but I think we're maybe the second largest state. They got all these little circles. I'm not seeing anything any bigger. Oh no, Michigan, Texas, Michigan, Pennsylvania. That's what it looks like to me. But that's a very cursory look. And then you always hear the Republicans talking about how Pennsylvania is such an awful state for business. Don't you hear? It's a mantra. How can we attract business? What an awful state we are. And then you look at all these other states that don't give anything. They barely give a penny. Wow. I mean, like Illinois, that's a big state. I mean, with a lot of people in it and major this and that. $1.5 billion to our $5 billion. Ohio, $3.2 billion. I don't know. Okay, I'll stop. And thanks a lot, Tom. You ruined my day, too, by sending me this. But it's fascinating. It's fascinating. And fascinating / depressing as all hell. So Obama's going to Michigan today. Michigan, the newest right to work state. Michigan, a right to work state. I got cognitive dissonance going on. This is what happens when Democrats don't show up for the little elections. So Michigan goes to Obama in the recent election, big time, Obama. Meanwhile, those same voters allow a Republican-controlled state house, a Republican-controlled state senate, a Republican-controlled governor, it's a totally Republican-controlled state, just like this damn state, just like the state of Wisconsin. What is going on with it? Blame it totally on Democrats. Just blame it on whatever our voters are. They don't get it. And unless we engage in some serious education and get out the vote for every damn election, this is going to continue. Our voters don't understand. They think the only election that matters is the presidential election. So states that turn bright blue every 4 years for the Democratic candidate are crimson red in every other category. And it's because the Republicans get their voters out all the time or something, or Democrats don't put up good candidates for statewide offices. I don't know, but I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Clearly, the Democratic Party, or at least the Obama campaign, knows how to get voters to the polls. But that's got to be an ongoing discipline. It's not something you just shuffle, you come on. Every 4 years, you wake everybody up and you get them out the door. It doesn't work. Look what it's done to us. All right, okay. Anyway, hi. It's December 10th. It's balmy and rainy out, and I guess winter's coming tomorrow. Let me take a break so I can get all this information off to Jess and try to get my equanimity and happy Monday morning smiling face back on, and we'll restart after this.
Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com or call Lynn at 412-316-3381. Lynn Cullen Live will return in a moment.
36 countries, 150 artisan groups, a world of handmade treasures.
and one place to discover them all. 10,000 villages. Home decor, jewelry, gifts, all one of a kind. Fashioned one at a time. At 10,000 villages, each item tells a story.
When somebody else takes that beautiful item, I want to carry that beauty to them.
They're gifts that give twice, because 10,000 Villages is a fair trade retailer, providing sustainable income to artisans in developing countries.
Fair trade has been the possibility to have what we have now.
Enriching their lives while bringing exotic elegance into yours. Surprise your senses. Express your style. Experience the new. Step into 10,000 Villages.
I feel very beautiful making these products, and I want all our customers to feel beautiful wearing them.
Go to bergbargains.com for great deals on your favorite local restaurants, museums, and shows. This week only, get discounts up to 60% on tickets to the Nutcracker. bergbargains.com, Pittsburgh's exclusive e-commerce mall. bergbargains.com.
Packers.
Vikings.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we make a real difference in the building blocks of life. Children succeed in school, families gain financial stability, the health of our neighbors improves, and suddenly so do our communities. Real change won't happen without you.
Live United.
So give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Sign up today at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Now, it's back to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com.
Well, in the interim, all I did was succeed in completely screwing up my computer. I can't get anything done. Hello? Oh, boy. So, I came upon this, and it so freaked me out. I'm sorry I have all these things that are freaking me out, but it's just luck of the draw. Please tell me this is a joke. Please, somebody tell me that what I'm reading here is a joke, because I got this not from an American source, but from the Telegraph, which is a British newspaper. And here's what it says. A new school curriculum, which will be in effect in 46 of the 50 states, will make it compulsory. This is in 2014, by 2014. In 46 of the 50 states, a new school curriculum will make it compulsory for at least 70% of all books that our kids are reading in public schools to be nonfiction. The reason for this is so that we are educating students to be good workers in the workplace. In other words, move over Shakespeare to be replaced by some manual on... you think I'm kidding? Listen to this. Suggested nonfiction texts. This is for replacing, like Catcher in the Rye. Include recommended levels of insulation. Okay, I'm going to take a caller. Oh, God. Hello?
Hello, Lynn.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you're on another topic.
That's okay.
That thing about tax breaks?
Yeah.
It drives me crazy because it disgusts me. These politicians think I'm so stupid. The big thing is not taxing the Marcellus Shale.
Well, there's a for instance.
Well,
that's right.
The thing is, the jobs that we'll lose, they'll go somewhere else. Well, they're not going to take the gas with them.
Right.
I mean,
that's the value.
How like a manufacturer can move a plant, or they can go but the gas is in the ground. If the companies don't employ people now, they will later.
That's right. You're right. If we're sitting on this gold mine, it ain't going anywhere. If they want it, then it seems to me we should be in the driver's seat in that negotiation.
If you looked at what other states tax the Marcellus Shale at, anywhere from 7 to to 12 and 14%, and plus, well fees and stuff like that. These companies are paying, and I know people working in the industry. I know I have somebody who's running a company that does the drilling. But these companies, it was just in the paper the other day, these companies are paying 12% royalties. And we can't ask them for a 7%, because they're still making billions of dollars. Just billions of dollars. Even
that great liberal bastion of Texas, taxes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
West Virginia, tax it. They all tax. Just us.
Oh, and as, the other thing that what bothers particularly my nephew who works in the field, they talk about, the gas employment in Pennsylvania. Then what they need to do is tell these companies, you know what, you need to hire Pennsylvanians. I mean, I know it's decreased, but 30 to 40% of the people working in the gas fields and oil fields in Pennsylvania right now are from out of state.
Yeah.
But the idea that's like, how stupid do you think I am, just drives me up a wall.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to climb down off the wall.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Well, I think it drives all of us off the wall, and then, or onto the wall, and then when you argue the point, you're told you're naive. And that's just another way of saying, again, hey, the game is rigged. Do you understand? The game is rigged. And it's rigged against you, and it's rigged in favor of them. Again, them that's got shall get more. That's the game. And I ain't so naive as not to know that. But I hate, the disingenuous and dishonest manner in which our political and business class frame the argument and talk to us as if this is legitimate. It's not legitimate. It's extortion. It's legalized robbing of the public purse, the picking of the people's pockets, and it is, in fact, a redistribution of wealth from the have-nots to the haves. It's been going on. People say, well, how come the middle class is disappearing in this? Well, there are reasons. It's not like some kind of mystery. One can follow the breadcrumbs pretty easily. If you're blind, you can follow them. You can use your nose. Follow the stench. All right, so back to this other thing, which is just unbelievable. These new educational standards I am talking about that are supposed to be in place in 46 of the 50 states of this union by 2014 are backed by the National Governors Association, backed by the Council of Chief State School Officers, funded by a grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and approved by what is called the Common Core State Standards Commission or something. So this is very heavy hitters, and they, starting in a year, kids in the public schools in most of this country will be reading mostly fiction is what's being tossed out the window. Who knows? So I'm not kidding you. So To Kill a Mockingbird, out. Move over, because here's one of, again, I was saying this when the caller came in, one of the suggested texts by all these brilliant folks is a pamphlet from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency titled Recommended Levels of Insulation. Here's another one. This is another book put out by California's Invasive Plant Council, and it's called the Invasive Plant Inventory. Caller, go ahead. Hi.
The Invasive Plant Inventory.
Yes, sir. To hell with Shakespeare.
Robert Frost, please tell me that at least some of the books, nonfiction books, are going to be critical analysis of literature.
I don't know. I just got this little thing here. It simply says...
From The Guardian, you said, right?
No, not The Guardian. The Telegraph.
The Telegraph. Okay, I usually read The Guardian. Okay, all right.
www.telegraph.co.uk.
Yeah, I get a whole feed of British newspapers. So.
Okay, and they say that this is in an effort to ready American students for the workplace.
I'll bet you anything the one piece of fiction, two pieces of fiction that they will not ban will be Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead. Those will probably be put on the required reading list, the two pieces of fiction that you are allowed to read. But no, about disaffected adolescents, no, we can't have Salinger taught in our public schools.
Well,
Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. Exit, stage left even.
I do not know. I would love to see more on this. And if anybody does find more, I wish you would forward it to me.
And what are the 4 states that are not going to be implementing
that's what I don't understand.
Is that listed?
No. And what I don't understand is why... There must be 4 states that simply refuse to be part of whatever this Common Core state standards are. And maybe they're the states that are so off the charts that, they don't want to have to teach science. I don't know.
Oh, God, this sounds like Grover Norquist Nightmareville. Has he made this pledge?
No. This is supposedly people who... This is Bill and Melinda Gates. This is...
I know!
The National
I love them, usually.
I know. Council of Chief State School Officers. So, my understanding, here, there's been this terrible change that's happened. There is this sense now, and here it is. This is why this is happening, right? That the purpose of education is to create little worker bees.
Oh, I've always thought that. I mean, just through the whole ritual and rote memory process that we have in our system.
My understanding always was, and I think I'm right, is education is supposed to create well-rounded, critical thinking citizens.
Look, I started school in 1966, and for me, it wasn't until I actually got out of the public school system and into university that I was encouraged to do critical thinking. I mean, not that I didn't do it while I was in high school, but it just was like, okay, we're going to have a test, memorize this stuff, boom, and take the test, and then you don't retain anything. Or, well, I did, but...
No, you don't retain much. But I mean, I understand that public education has always had the component of essentially indoctrination. Indoctrination into...
Get somebody to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, get them to leave at 3 o'clock, let them, go to this meeting, let them go to that meeting.
And also, this is where you're fed the stories about America and how wonderful we are and how... That's... When I got to university, that's what I went nuts about. I started... really learning things and finding out that a lot of what had been put in my head year after year after year after year was simply historically incorrect. It was wrong. It was propaganda. It was indoctrination. But I do
And the reason that Gore Vidal started writing his historical novels was because he was so astounded that Abraham Lincoln could be as boring as the history books presented.
Right. And think about
and
this.
So he did the research, and he gave the real Lincoln.
And you know what?
Which has been,
that is the
reinforced
greatest book.
by Doris Kearns Goodwin.
Oh, what a great book. Vidal's Lincoln, if you haven't read it. Come to think of it, I got to reread that. God, was that a great book. The thing is, stop and think about this. Brilliant Abraham Lincoln. He was self-taught.
Yes, totally autodidact.
He didn't know.
Do we have many of those in this nation anymore?
Not anymore,
No.
but, Lincoln somehow made it without knowing about optimal insulation levels.
Yeah, because you know what? He observed, and he learned how much insulation to put into his home in Kentucky and then in Illinois.
Oh, dear.
He split them logs all by himself, He didn't chop down any cherry trees to do it.
Well, you know what? I tell this story about volunteering in my kid's kindergarten class one day while I overheard the teacher. I was talking to another little kid, helping him with something, and I hear the teacher who's talking to the rest of the class saying, and so when Abraham Lincoln chopped down that cherry tree, and I thought, oh, my God. And I thought, what does it matter? He didn't chop down a cherry tree. George Washington didn't chop down a cherry tree. She could have said, when James Buchanan chopped down the cherry. It doesn't matter. It's all crap.
Why did you pick James Buchanan, the first gay president?
I don't know. You know why? The first name that came to my head was Polk, and I couldn't think of his first name.
Oh, okay.
What is Polk's first
All right.
name?
Well, geez, let's get some levity in the show. Well, we are. I guess we are getting levity. It's a ludicrous situation, and we're choosing to laugh as opposed to cry, I guess.
Yes, indeedy. Okay.
Oh,
Thanks.
all right.
Thanks for the
keep
call.
Keep warm. Keep happy.
Oh, I
keep
will.
the faith.
Yes, indeed. Keep going. Margaret writes, well, the Bible is fiction, thank God. Well, okay, so, I don't know what the standard is now in terms of percentage, but they're saying they're whittling down fiction to 30% of all things read. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, this is Clarence.
Mr. Clarence, how you?
Somebody stole half my joke with the Bible fiction thing.
Oh, that was Margaret. She's clever too.
But I was also thinking the nonfiction that they won't teach is Darwin.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's right. Exactly.
Darwin's not going to be in there.
We want to put out, apparently what the purpose of public education is to put out these automatons who will know how to work and will be ready to be employed, but who will not be critical thinkers, who will not take up the larger issues of the world. There's more to life.
Yeah, the previous caller, when he was talking, he started school in '66. I started in '68.
What are you all trying to make me feel old? Are you talking about?
Yeah, well, that wasn't my intent. I'm thinking, okay, that's probably the switch probably happened in the '60s when we were basically being little automatons.
Well, so because I
was educated like him. I don't know.
I think I had a pretty good actual education in terms of literature and stuff in my public school district. Mm-hmm. But I started a lot earlier than that. I graduated from high school in '66.
Yeah, what I was thinking was that I had a really good education, to be a little automaton.
Well, that was always there. That follow the rules, stand in line, shut up. That is part of the socialization process, right?
Yeah, but I thought that the reason for public education in the beginning was during the Industrial Revolution was to basically because moms and dads were going to work or whatever, and the little kids had to be somewhere, so they were educating them. They started a public school system to build little factory workers. I thought that's the reason was, I could be wrong because I'm not a historian.
I don't know. I wish we did have an educational historian around to tell us.
Yeah. See, people like Tom Kovacs know that crap.
Do they? Oh, well.
Philadelphia.
Well.
You know what? I have to get off the phone. I'm calling him to find out.
Okay. Well, fine. I don't know. this is informational texts. That's what they're wanting to, push fiction off and give them informational texts.
Did you hear? I think there's a school in Colorado, or a couple of them, where they're reversing everything. They're doing the lectures and stuff online, and you go into the school to take the tests. They're doing most of it. You do your homework in school, and the lectures are online. Did you hear about that?
No. What level of school is that?
I think it's like almost all levels of school, but I think they're starting them in the elementary. It's sort of like a pilot kind of program, where you sit there online and your teacher's talking, you're watching a video, this, that, and the other thing. Then when you go to school, that's where you're doing your homework. But the teacher's there to help you do your homework. And I said, wonder if that's going to work. It's reversed.
That might work. I don't know.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
All righty, you.
All right. Have a nice day. Now I got to call Tom and find out.
Yeah. What was the purpose of education? Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Bye, Clarence. Bye. Good to hear from you. Dang. Okay. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. A little knowledge is a depressing thing. Okay. Woo! How did it get that late? Calls! We are deluged, inundated with calls. Gentlemen callers, if you noticed. Well, got to get a second break in here, guys. We will return in a minute.
Stick around for more with Lynn Cullen Live after this.
Winter has arrived and it's cold outside, so get to Little's for all your UGG needs. Little's has Uggs for men, women, and children to stay warm with shearling-lined boots, shoes, and slippers. And don't forget to get your hats, gloves, scarves, and more. All available at Little's Shoes. Bring the entire family to view one of the largest in-store UGG shops in the U.S. Little's Shoes, Pittsburgh's largest family shoe store, 5850 Forbes Avenue in Squirrel Hill.
Pittsburgh City Paper's annual Holiday Guide magazine is available now. Pick up one today for great holiday gift ideas from your favorite local merchants. Plus the Smashing Pumpkins, The Crucible, Olivia Newton-John, and News of the Weird. Pittsburgh City Paper, available at over 1,700 locations throughout Western Pennsylvania, and on the web at pghcitypaper.com, and on your smartphone at citypapermobile.com.
Have a question or an opinion? Call Lynn Cullen at 412-316-3381 or email lynn at pghcitypaper.com. Now, more with Lynn Cullen Live.
Yeah, can you take any more is the question. Woo! So I happened to be in Philadelphia yesterday this weekend for business, essentially. A state board I sit on. And I'm looking out the window of my hotel room upon entering it, and I see beneath me a swimming pool, which has been covered over, and to my right, a parking lot, which is overwhelmed, dominated by this huge, huge, huge black bus with a smiling face on it that I vaguely recognized. And then the lettering said, Oliver North's something book tour. Oh. Is he still around? Is he still like a Oliver North? I thought, Ollie's in the building. Yeah, Oliver North. Those creeps never go away, do they? They just keep on coming. Also this weekend, as the weekend began, I found myself on WQED on that 4802 show. And there was a story brought up. We're alerted about 4:30 that day by email what subjects we should be expected to opine about on the program. And, all the subjects that were on the list, I certainly knew something about. Oh, yeah. And then there was this one that I had not seen at all. And so this list comes with what do you call that? They tell you where to go. Go to hell. They tell you where to go. You know what I mean? What do you call that? Links. So there was a link to this story that blew my mind. I don't know why I hadn't heard of it. But this again shows something that makes me crazy. That increasingly it seems that people in authority are fearful of exercising critical thinking, of judgment. Instead, like the automatons they have been raised to be, they simply go by the rules. Well, the rule here says this, and so I must do that. And so this looks like this. And then you get this zero tolerance crap that does not allow for any. This is the kind of thing. So when a kid comes to school and he's got a plastic knife and fork in his lunchbox, he ends up being expelled. It's that kind of thing. This is out of Minnesota. Have you heard about it? The Minnesota State University football coach, who is still not on the job. He's been off the job the entire season. And he was knocked off the job because he was arrested at his home for possession. This is a felony. Possession of child pornography. What it was his cell phone. All these cell phones now have cameras, and you can do video, and you can do blah, blah, blah. His cell phone, which was issued by by his employer, Minnesota State, wasn't working right. So he brought it into the cell phone people. And in the course of, I guess, downloading all the stuff he had on it so that it would be saved, whoever the technician who was doing it sees pictures on the coach's cell phone of naked children cavorting. He alerts. That employee alerted, I guess, the cops. The cops move in. The pictures, by the way, were of his 3 children, ages 5, 8, and 9, who had just gotten out of the bathtub and were cavorting in bubble baths and stuff, as children do. And they had actually said, "Daddy, Daddy, take our picture." There was nothing pornographic at all. At all. The cops not only came to his house and arrested him, the cops searched his home looking for more kiddie porn. Amazingly, they found none. This guy, is, as far as I know, still does not have his job back. He went to trial in early August. No. I'm sorry. The case recently was thrown out of court. The judge ruled that the videos were not pornographic because the children were acting spontaneously and he did not direct them in what to do, and he was just a dad playing with his kids. And they said that this is the result, they think, of the Jerry Sandusky case. The colleges now are crazy places, that they're scared out of their minds. And especially when it comes to football coaches, I guess. But this guy's life has been hell since then. He's been on paid administrative leave. And as I said, at least he's been, idiots. So the public school system now is to put out idiots. Our job is to create people who do not exercise judgment, but who instead do what they are told. That's it. And will be able to do the jobs that we cannot make robots to do. That's it. People who will not complain. That's it. Okay, Milton has sent me an H.L. Mencken quote. And this is Mencken's take on public education. The most erroneous assumption is to the effect that the aim of public education is to fill the young of the species with knowledge and awaken their intelligence, and so make them fit to discharge the duties of citizenship in an enlightened and independent manner. Whoops. So Mencken is saying my assumption about what it should be is erroneous. Mencken goes on, nothing could be further from the truth. The aim of public education is not to spread enlightenment at all. It is simply to reduce as many individuals as possible to the same safe level, to breed and train a standardized citizenry, and to put down dissent and originality. That is its aim in the United States, whatever the pretensions of politicians, pedagogues, and other such mountebanks. We don't use that anymore, do we? And that is its aim everywhere else. Well, that's a very jaundiced, cynical view, but I think it's probably closer to the truth than my romantic vision. And this latest change that's afoot in regard to the makeup of Americans' public education curriculum, I guess, is a case in point. Oh, Lord. Well, okay. So what else is new? Last time I was here, which I guess was Friday, I think, or Thursday, whatever it was. It was Friday. I talked somewhat about how one of my pet peeves is people who have tons of money and who, when they're considering charitable donations, invariably give all their gazillions to institutions that already have a gazillion. And I say here again, the perpetuation of them that's got just keep getting more. So every time you hear these huge bequests to educational, to universities, many of these universities, and some of these universities could use the cash, I think, especially the littler ones and the private ones. But these humongous universities, like, well, the Ivy League, like Harvard or Yale, and they're on the receiving end of a lot of this largesse, they have billions, foundations with billions. And I was saying that it drives me crazy because the numbers show, people have crunched them, and shows that by far, the most money goes to institutions that, in fact, serve the haves. And I was talking mostly about these rich universities. Well, lo and behold, the very next day, I see an article about a well-known ethics maven, who actually is extremely controversial, Peter Singer, Princeton. And he was going me one better. He has written a book called The Life You Can Save. It's called a brief book, but he talks about the fact that if you want to live a truly ethical life, you would never give your money to a university. Not as long as there was a hungry child in the world. And, you know, it's sort of hard to argue with that one, ain't it? But he goes further. He says it's not just the universities. He says that charity for the arts or for cultural activities is, in a world like the one we are living in, morally dubious. So he's saying that to give to a theater company, a dance company, the Metropolitan, the Carnegie, that too doesn't quite pass his morality test. As long as there is a hungry child in the world. And he says that, okay, I know, museums and the arts are so important for the enrichment of children, including poor children, and they do reach out often to poor children. He says this, I can see how that could be a worthwhile thing to do. But I'm just not sure how well it compares with saving kids from dying from diarrhea or malaria. The only way to justify giving something, he says, to educational institutions that are relatively well off is if they produce people and knowledge that will help solve the world's poverty and problems. So he's saying, okay, if education puts out their job while they're producing good little workers, is they're producing workers whose sole expertise is in ameliorating poverty, then give to them. But we know that's not at all what they're doing, generally speaking. I don't know. At this time of year, when you're inundated with all of these requests for bequests, right? If you go by Singer standard, you're going to throw a whole lot of them out like that and only give your money to charities, which you look at and make sure that they're doing the job, that literally help people in need. That makes sense. That kind of redistribution of wealth makes such sense to me. Because the way it works, and again, this is verifiable, that if you look at how most of the people who've got all the money to give, they only give to essentially themselves. It's amazing. So in this regard, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is wonderful in that they spend a lot of their extraordinary wealth in the world trying to make it better. I'd sure like to hear what, you know, the fact that they're funding this effort, I makes me very queasy. But at any rate, so these are all provocative thoughts to begin your work week. You like the good little worker bees you all are or are supposed to be. And I guess that's that. Tomorrow, I believe my sister will be joining us. We might want to wing this educational thing past her because as a former president of a school board, she's up on this educational curricula crap and might have a sense of what this Common Core State Standards group is and how this kind of thing works and is decided. And oh my God, my bet is that each school district or state will come up with what fiction to throw out and which to keep. And as the caller said, I bet Atlas Shrugged is, and the Fountainhead, I bet they make the cut. Well, I'm looking at the clock and it says, you're done, and I am. So tomorrow, and have a good day. Thanks.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.